Hello, South Sioux City 5th graders. It is great to be with you. I want to do a little historical resilience analysis and interpretation with you, looking at a figure from American history, and that person's name is Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is a very, to me, he's a fascinating individual and a great example of resilience when it comes to life. One example of resilience when it comes to his life is Thomas Edison, of course, is a very famous scientist. One of the things he's known for is mastering and making the incandescent light bulb work. He also figured out like an electrical grid system. Very, very well-known scientists in American history and worldwide history. One of the examples of his resilience, though, is he was home having supper with his family one evening. Someone comes by and says, "Hey, your warehouse is on fire!" So he runs down to his warehouse. His warehouse is engulfed in flames. The flames everywhere. And so his son is with him, looking at this warehouse engulfed in flames, and so he turns to his son, and the people who work at this warehouse, no one's hurt at this warehouse, no one's hurt, no one's killed, but everyone's outside. There's a reporter there watching him. And people are looking at how he's going to respond, because the thing is, in this warehouse, there are inventions that the world have never seen that are going up in flames. Multi-level warehouse in flames. And he turns to his son and says, "Go get your wife and her friends, because this is a fire that they'll never see anything like this ever again." So it was this magnificent fire, and not magnificent in necessarily a good way, but it was just like he saw the awe of the fire, and no one was hurt, and so he could have just crumbled right there, or started yelling and walking around cussing and being upset, but no. He actually saw the fire as an opportunity to rebuild, and in fact, he didn't lay off any of his workers. As soon as the fire was done and the ashes were cool, they were out there rebuilding the warehouse, restarting. Recreating, starting again. And in that same year that the fire happened, he built this back up again. And oh, by the way, he didn't have insurance on the warehouse. That's the crazy thing. He lost millions of dollars because he didn't have the insurance on the warehouse. And so some people would have said, "I'm done for. I'm ruined." Not Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison said, "You know what? We will rebuild. I'm going to keep all of my staff employed, this team of people that were working with him." And they went on that year. He went on that same year where a fire destroyed this warehouse. He wanted to make more money that year and make and create more things that year than if he would have before the fire, and so thankfully no one was hurt, but yet some people would have saw that fire as his life is over. Oh, my life is over. And granted, a fire can be a very traumatic thing where it can make it feel like life is over, and the thing is, no one was hurt, and so he said, we'll rebuild, and he had that mindset that, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And we'll come back from this. Hey, I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of science inventions, a lot of creations. It'll be okay. The other thing that I can't help but think of is, once I had mentioned is one of his most famous inventions is perfecting the incandescent light bulb. He didn't create the light bulb, or incandescent light bulb. He made it so it was actually workable. Incandescent light bulb is when it has the filament in it, where the filament lights up and it'll heat up and it'll work as a glowing light source, if you will. He figured out how to make that work. And the thing is, he tried thousands of ways to figure out how can I make this incandescent light bulb work. I mean, he tried he tried fishing string. He tried different types of string. He got so desperate. Check this out, fifth graders. He got so desperate. He tried a piece of his friend's beard hair. Could you imagine going to your friend and saying, "Hey, what? Hold on. I need to try something." And imagine his friend said, "What are you doing?" I don't know exactly how the conversation went, but I'm just envisioning Thomas Edison going up to his friend saying, "I need some beard hair," and plucking a piece. I don't know. Maybe he asked. I hope he asked first, but nonetheless, using beard hair. I mean, he tried so many different things, and then he was able to narrow it down to, hey, you know what? Sliced bamboo is. But then he had to travel the world. He and his team traveled the world, fifth graders, traveled all over the world trying to figure out what kind of bamboo, sliced bamboo, would work the best as an incandescent light bulb filament. And so, I mean, there was, from what I've looked at, there's thousands of different kinds of bamboo. And so he traveled the world looking for all of just the right kind of bamboo to work for this finely sliced bamboo to work. It took so much time, so much effort, so many times failing. And boy, life can be like that. Where it feels like sometimes you're failing and you're failing and you're failing, and but yet when you fail, you're getting actually closer to succeeding. And so I love learning about Thomas Edison. He just and there's still more that I want to learn about Thomas Edison. I hope this summer to get my hands on maybe a book or two about Thomas Edison, a biography about him, because I just love learning about influential people who have resilience, and Thomas Edison is one of those individuals. You know, when we think of this time right now that we're going through, where this pandemic that the world's going through, you know, our world's going through a pandemic. We have family and friends who are dealing with a viral sickness and maybe possibly losing a job, or dealing with some challenges that it might make us feel alone. It might make us feel like, how am I ever going to get through this? You know, and there are so many of us who have different mixed feelings going through this time. I love when I experience some challenging feelings. I like to look at those historical figures who are just decent human beings who had resilience. Because resilience is, you know, when things get tough, and if you fail, you don't give up. If you fail, you don't give up. If something bad happens, you don't give up. Because life has meaning, life has value, life can be better, and it's not the end of the world. You know, nothing is worth, no life is worth throwing away or being done with, no matter how hard it is. And growing up, I used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's this, I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about, but it was this kid show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and Mr. Rogers was this guy on TV, and he would always talk about positive things and good things. He would sometimes talk about tough things too that might be going on in the world. And one of the things that he always talked about is, you know, if there's something in the world that's scary, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers, you know, and there's so many teachers out there, and principals and parents and guidance counselors and people who are tied into to a church if you attend a certain church. or whatever it happens to be. I mean, there's so many different people out there, friends, other family. There's so many different people. Look for the helpers who want to help and want who can give words of encouragement. And I think that one step too is look for the helper. If something in the world is scary, look for a helper. And then I tell the fifth graders at Lewis and Clark, be a helper too. You can be a helper. You can become the helper to others too. And sometimes we need someone to help us and to say those words, those positive words and encouraging words to us. But we can also do that to others too when we might see them struggling. And I can't tell you how much that can help me feel better by just saying positive, encouraging words to others. And so that's something to think about too. It's a weird time. I'm not gonna lie. It's a weird time. It's an weird and an awkward time, and yet resilience is more important than ever. Thomas Edison could have given up after 10 times saying, "I can't get this light bulb to work. I can't get it." No, he didn't do after 10 times. Thousands of times, thousands and thousands of attempts of figuring out what would work to make this science, this incandescent light bulb to work. And then not to mention all his other science inventions and science creations that he did. And not to mention losing a warehouse that had no insurance on it and having to start from scratch with that warehouse. He faced challenges. He faced obstacles, and he did. And I know you are facing obstacles too. You're facing obstacles and challenges. I guarantee if we talk to every single fifth grader in South Sioux City, each one of them have their own challenge, their own obstacles they're facing, their own fears, their own things they're scared about, their own things maybe they're happy about or they're nervous about. You might be nervous about middle school. You might be excited about middle school. You might be nervous about what's to come because you weren't in school for 9 weeks. And granted, you had the handouts at home that we really wanted you to do, but it's still, I know it's not the same as being with students or being with your fellow students and in the classroom. But nonetheless, as fifth graders, y'all can be resilient. Y'all can be tough and strong. And I know you can make a difference out there and not give up no matter how hard life gets. Think Thomas Edison could have given up everything after losing a fire and say, "I'm done for. I can't do this anymore." Fire destroyed all this warehouse, multi-level warehouse. I'm done. No. Instead, he says, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. It'll be okay. No one was hurt. It's just a thing. So I want to encourage you, anytime you feel scared or nervous, think about the people who have been so resilient in life and have overcome so many obstacles. Today, I'm talking about Thomas Edison. But the thing is, we have different people who have obstacles and barriers that they have faced in life that to some, it could almost bring them to tears. But to them, it's their life and they've overcome so much. And so I want to encourage each one of you fifth graders out there that, all of us are having different experiences at home. Let's be real. If we talk to every one of you fifth graders out there, and we talk to all of the fifth grade teachers, all of us are having maybe some similar experiences, but some different experiences too. And I know that. My family and I, we're having some challenges. You're having some challenges. Those challenges might be similar, they might be different, and that's okay. But the thing is, we have to be resilient because life is good, life is amazing, life is incredible, and there's so much good to do in this world. There's so much impact that we can give to this world and have on this world. But we have to have that resilience where we have that in our mind where we say, you know what? Life is tough, can't give up. And so I love looking at this resilience type of mindset where no matter how hard life gets, you know what? We'll get through it. We will get through it one day at a time, and it may not be perfect. It may not be perfect overnight. It may not be perfect a day or tomorrow or the next day, but we'll get through it because life can be pretty incredible. It's not perfect. It's not perfect by any means, but it does offer us some really beautiful things and some ugly things in life. But once again, I want to encourage you to go out there and to make the most of it and to never give up because you matter. Fifth graders, hear what I'm saying. You matter. You matter. Thomas Edison knew that he mattered and that his family mattered and the people he worked with mattered. And he had that mindset, that things are tough, not going to give up. I'm telling you, you matter and that you have good things ahead of you. You can make a difference in this world. And that's another thing I tell the fifth graders is you can change the world. I encourage you to go out there as fifth graders and change the world, to make this world a better place, to be the change in this world. In order to do that, we have to have resilience. We have to have that not going to give up attitude, that no matter how hard life gets, I will get through it type of mentality, type of thinking. So we took some time here together to do a historical analysis and interpretation, looking at a very famous person, Thomas Edison. Once again, Thomas Edison is the person I chose to talk about here. We could look at many other different individuals from history and learn lessons from them. I want to encourage you as you go into this summer to read, to explore, I'm thinking about all of you fifth graders, hoping you and your family stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and go out there, go into fifth grade go out into sixth grade having a strong sixth grade year. And no matter how hard life gets, because life is going to be tough for all of us at times. There's times that's not going to be hard, and there's times it's going to be hard. No matter how hard life gets, have that resilience in your mind and go out there and change the world. Thank you all.